That's your own tail there.
All right, guys, we're sitting here with Michael Renau, and Michael has a very diverse collection of animals. And we're gonna sit and check out a few of the cool snakes he's got first, but then we're gonna pick up the cameras and run around his facility and see all the different cool things you got, because he got a lot here. I mean, I've been wanting to come here for a long time to do this, actually.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I mentioned this to you at least a year ago or more, I think.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally be here, man.
Happy to have you. Glad you could make it, so.
Appreciate it.
You guys are watching Triple B TV.
How did you get into keeping?
I mean, it was always something I wanted to do as a kid. I always had iguanas and catching lizards in the backyard, and it started from there. Middle school came around, more into girls and stuff, so kind of got out of it for a little bit. Then after college, I realized, hey, you know, I have my own money now. I have my own space. I can buy whatever I wanted, reptiles included. And I guess I would be lying if I didn't mention that it was actually my sister, I guess, who I should be giving credit to for getting me into reptiles. She had a ball python growing up. I was never afraid of it, but I don't know, just unfamiliar with it. Didn't want to touch it, but then so I held it one time. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know? Kind of just went from there. So, you know, one thing led to another. Started out with chameleons and, you know, had a colony of those and just expanded from there, so.
You guys can't see this sign back here right now, which is actually kind of funny. So ADD Reptiles is this thing, and on the sign back here it says, there's always room for more, and you can't see it because there's more animals that were piled in next to the stairway, because I just think that's hilarious that the sign is blocked because of what it says.
It wasn't on purpose, I swear. I'm just usually an ironic guy, you know, it just kind of happens around me, so.
Cool, man. Let's pull out some snakes.
All right. She'll strike at you, but it's always, you know, just a nose bump, a closed mouth type thing. This is a Bismarck Ringed python, Bothrochilus boa.
You don't see a lot of these around.
No, this one's actually from a very rare line. And yeah, these guys, there's not too many of them that were brought in. Very difficult to breed, not too many people working with them. There's literally maybe a select few in the US, so very beautiful snakes. You can't really see right here because we're inside, but they have this iridescence about them that's just amazing. I mean, you can't really replicate that. It's even more of a shame because you can't really see it on camera or on film. It's really difficult to capture. But yeah, truly a beautiful snake. I wish I had an example of baby, because the babies, they almost look like a candy corn. They start out just completely orange, bright orange with black banding. And the older they get, you can kind of see that this girl's on her way. They start looking more like anacondas, that kind of like dark olive.
Yeah, it does have that look. Hi there.
Yeah. oh, there she goes.
Was that the first bite?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Wow.
So these guys are known to be a little bit more shaky and squirmy, and
I think that was probably my fault.
It is feeding day. I was actually expecting her to wrap me on that one, but small head, you know, so no big deal. I've been bit by worse. Pretty easy to maintain. They don't get too large. Medium-sized python, about 5 to 6 feet. Don't require too much space. They love humidity, so it's always a must to keep their enclosure nice and damp. Always have a nice big water dish. These guys love to soak. Interesting snakes. Oh, there she goes again. Well, I guess she's in a bad mood today. They have on their tail this really blunt tail, but what they do is they kind of try and stab you. They poke you with this little kind of tip that they have here. And I mean, I'm not too familiar with observations in the wild on these snakes, but it's almost kind of like a cobra thing where, you know, if you know cobras, sometimes they'll kind of poke you with their tail to make you think that you were bit and confuse you a bit, so.
I think there's a sharp-tailed snake around here that does that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly, so. That's interesting observation. These guys are super sketchy because they have a really long strike range, but I haven't had a problem with this guy before. But yeah, so this is a Poopoo Python. No other species recognized. These guys are from Papua New Guinea, and they are very much like the Australian olive pythons. They are quite large snakes. Oop. This is our male right here. Kind of squirmy, as you can see.
And we're friends. He's made.
Yeah, he's anchored. He's anchored.
Yeah, if I can make you feel secure, buddy, it's all good.
Yeah, these guys are also a very uncommon snake species. Not too many people working with them. Really underrated snakes. A lot of them are brought in wild caught, so they don't really acclimate too well, and they're also very, very nasty snakes. This particular individual is actually captive born.
Really cool.
Overall,
head, that little short, stocky head is just
right. Yeah, that's the main difference between these guys and the olive pythons. The olives, they have more of like a kind of pointier arrow kind of snout.
Right.
These guys have more of like a fatter, compressed head. This guy's only a few years old, so he'll get a lot larger than this. They usually get about 11 to 13 feet, something like that. So not very active snakes.
It seems somewhat maybe.
Usually when they're
right now, yeah, not active, but
yeah.
Get back into
plus
the
it's feeding day too, so everybody's hungry and eager to eat. These guys can be kind of a pain to feed sometimes.
Just because of how good of a response they have, or because
no, not
the
so.
opposite?
It's the opposite actually. They're very timid snakes. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah, so like this guy, I mean, I'm not getting any sense of defensive action or any kind of aggression from this guy.
I'm hoping that my ankle has a lot to do with that. He's helping him feel a little more secure. Are these guys semi-arboreal, or are they?
No,
just ground.
Yeah, pretty much strictly terrestrial.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is because of how he's definitely.
Yeah, they've got really good grips.
Yeah, let me give you a hint.
Looks like your foot's turning purple there.
Oh, there we go.
All right, buddy.
Albino olive python. There are not many of these in the States.
No, not really. You don't really, I mean, when you take a look at it, most people don't really know what it is. I mean, I guess not particularly a pretty snake, but just, I mean, you can see the power in this animal right here. And this girl right here isn't even full grown. They get about 10 to 11 feet. Not really thick-bodied snakes like the retics and the berms. These guys are very, very slender snakes. Really quick, not really mellow snakes. This one's doing pretty good right now, but they can be a little bit unpredictable.
Unpredictable as he goes to your face.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's only maybe 2-3 breeding pairs in the US max. Very rare animal. I've had this, my pair for about 4 years now, and still waiting to have success with them, so we'll see. But yeah, olive pythons in general, very, very awesome snakes. The normals are a nice like olive green, beautiful snake.
Also have some pretty insane iridescence as well.
Right. Yeah, olive pythons in general are pretty rare in the pet trade right now. It's kind of one of those things where, I guess unless you know what they are and kind of like the market and stuff, it's kind of hard to really talk about their cool factor.
The fact that you have so many animals here and so many snakes, and this is one of the 3 that we chose to pull out, that should say something about the cool factor.
Right. Yeah, and these guys, like most Australian snake species, have a crazy feeding response. I mean, you stick your hand in there and you will get bit and wrapped. It's not just you will get bit, no, they will wrap you and they will think that you are food. Along with these guys, Woma pythons, those guys also, I like to always feed outside their cage, so you know, they know that they always have to go outside before they eat, and that prevents getting bit. Interesting,
because you'll hear a lot of people say that not to feed outside the enclosure, but I guess it really depends on what species you're talking about.
Yeah, these guys definitely I would recommend feeding them outside. That way they know, okay, I'm inside the cage, I don't eat in here. So to a certain extent, I follow my own rule, but you know.
Cool snake, man. You want to pick up these cameras and run around the facility?
Yeah, let's go take a look.
Cool.
So this is a Bell's Phase lace monitor, female, this one. This girl is about a year and almost 2 years old. Another animal you don't really see too much in the US over here. These guys are from Australia. A really awesome animal, actually probably, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful natural occurring morphs. You can see right here that banding. Just absolutely beautiful. So this is still a young specimen right here, but this girl will ultimately get about 6 feet with the tail. They're a medium-sized lizard, medium to large, I guess. can be arboreal, very intelligent lizards, eat just about anything. You'll find these guys in the wild, actually in parks, digging through garbage cans and the such. They have a huge distribution in Australia. Find them in desert habitats, you'll find them by the beach, in forests. Really, really awesome lizards. So this is Sizzler right here. He's a white-throat monitor. He's about 8 years old right now. Had him for a while. Currently in rehabilitation. He got impacted with rat fur. Still unsure as to how that happened, but as reptile keeper, or reptile keepers, it is our responsibility to maintain our animals properly, make sure that they are all healthy and happy. And part of that is also having a good vet that's knowledgeable enough about reptiles to where if you do have an issue such as this, you can take them and they'll receive the help that they need. So we just put some Silvadene on his belly right there, his scar. Also, Manuka honey is really good for healing any injuries for reptiles or any animal for that matter. So hopefully Sizzler will be healed up and good to go in no time.
So Mike's got these awesome outdoor enclosures, which is not something you see all that often in California. Lucky he's in a climate here where you can make it work. And you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so there's several species out here. This is Erica Jr., the Argus monitor. She is about, hey, cut that out. She's about 9 years old right now. She's been around the block a few times. She has almost froze to death. She's been burned. She also fell off of her basking platform, broke a collarbone falling off her perch, also fractured a couple of vertebrae. So she's kind of a senior citizen at this point, doesn't move like she used to, but she's still doing great, still has a bit of an attitude, as you can hear. Great lizard. And it's all kind of just a learning experience. You know, you read up about it as much as you can and do your best, but you will encounter problems here and there. So it's just a matter of how you deal with it. And so far, very successful keeping animals out here. Got a hide in here, it's all heated. There's a heat pad and a heat bulb. I use my own controller to do a day and night cycle and also monitor the temperature. Yeah, I know. So she's by herself in there. Try and keep the injury risk to a minimum. Yeah, she's a great lizard. Had her for a long time.
Charging.
Yeah, she's definitely not one of those lizards you want to be barefoot around.
Yeah,
when I was still living at my parents' house, I used to have like a cage behind the house. I would just leave her out there when it was warm. Stupidly enough, I went out there barefoot, pulled her out. She was fine, and all of a sudden she just whipped around and tried to take a bite out of me. So I dropped her, and then she ended up, it was literally like this retarded dance I had to do, try and keep her from ripping a toe off while trying to grab her tail at the same time. So ever since then, I've stopped with the barefoot and sandal thing around monitors. Yeah, we like those toes, huh? I've been bit by her on the foot too, it's not fun.
I bet.
One of the worst monitor bites I'd say by far are from Argus monitors. I don't know what it is, but they never hold on. They always just do a quick bite and release, but there's some powerful force in those jaws. Yeah, she doesn't care much for other lizards either. I got a really nice male that was growing up for her. Tried introducing them, and yeah, she was not having it. That's your own tail there. I don't know why you're so angry at your tail. Before I owned the Croc monitor, Argus monitors were the most unpredictable monitor species that I've kept. But after working with them for so long, I mean, I know exactly what to expect with her, and not so much the smaller male, but she's pretty predictable right now. Like in a couple seconds, she's gonna see if she can turn around and try and get a taste of meat.
All right, guys, well that's gonna do it for us today. This has been a spectacular experience. One thing I didn't mention is that this is actually downsized from what you used to be working with.
Yep.
And we're definitely gonna have to come back for part 2 of this episode because there are so many species here. It's such an amazingly diverse collection of animals that we're definitely gonna have to come back and visit again. Mike, I really appreciate you having us in here to check
you're welcome
it all out,
anytime.
man. Awesome, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks for the video.
All right, guys, we're sitting here with my buddy, let me make sure, Michael Renau?
Renau.
Yeah.
Yes. Pretend like there's an O at the end.
Gotcha. Would it still be Renau if there was a T on the end? Is it?
It used to be LT, like the car, Renault, but people in Poland couldn't pronounce it. So remove the LT, so Renau is more easily pronounceable. But you come here to the US, nobody can pronounce Renau. So we would have been better off with the LT, but well, what can you do?
And then you can just go and I'll cut to it and we'll have...
The triple B thing? Oh, afterwards?
Oh, jeez, yeah. Well, yeah.
I was ready for the triple B. I kept looking at you for a cue or something.